Good morning. This is Carolyn from holidaystoeurope.com.au, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with Jim and Lynette from Lombardy Delights Tours. How are you this morning?
Very good, thanks. Carolyn?
Excellent. So can you tell us a little bit about Lombardy Delights Tours and how long you've actually been escorting tours to the beautiful region in Italy?
Well, Lombardy Delights Tours has been around for about 4 years now, Carolyn. And,
Okay, yep.
We originally decided to start the business upon our return to Australia. We lived in Italy for a couple of years, and we actually lived in my father's hometown, which is the base of our 9-day tour. We offer two products. One's a 9-day tour, one's a 15-day tour, and the 9-day tour is actually spent as a base in my father's hometown of Varzi, where we lived. And when we returned to Australia, we decided to start this business.
Mm-hmm. Great. So the inspiration, I guess, is because obviously you'd really enjoyed your time over there, and I suppose you felt that there was a market for other Australians to discover that region.
Very much so, Carol. And we lived there for 2 years, and whilst we were living there, we had a lot of people visit us, friends and family, and the feedback we actually got from our friends and family was quite amazing. They were really amazed at how beautiful the place was, and many of them fell in love with the characters of the towns, the character of the landscapes. It's a beautiful, lush, green part of Italy, and I suppose in a sense that really gave us the impetus to get moving on this. In relation to the market, this is more a passion for Lynette and myself, and we arrived at this idea more from the point of view of just wanting people to experience this beautiful place that we lived in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. So can you tell us some of the highlights of the Lombardy region that the clients on your tours will experience?
Well, in a sense, the itinerary itself is the highlight. And I say that because essentially 80% of the places that we visit on our tours, and particularly in the 9-day tour, which is very much limited to Lombardy, our new tour, the Fine Food, Wine and Wonders, also incorporates the region of Piedmont, which is a little bit more heavily touristed in many respects due to the reputation it has in the wine world. But in relation to Lombardy itself, the region of Lombardy, it's an absolutely beautiful region. You have the Alps, the Italian Alps at the northern end, which comprises the 3 lakes, Lake Como, Lake Maggiore, and also Lake Garda. Mm-hmm. Lake Como and Lake Maggiore are highlights on our tours. They're absolutely beautiful. So you have the dramatic landscape of the Italian Alps, and then you have the fashion capital of Europe, which is Milan, perhaps even the fashion capital of the world. That's included on one of our itineraries. But in many respects, it's the hidden delights that we have on our tours that are the highlights. In relation to the feedback we get from our guests, that's the case. And some of those, just to name a few of those, there's the Certosa di Pavia, which is an old Carthusian monastery that was built in the 14th century. And it's about 40 kilometres from Milan, but it's on the outskirts of a beautiful little provincial city called Pavia. That's an amazing building, and it's an absolutely fantastic place to visit. There's a very, very small village by the name of Bobbio, which was the resting place of St. Columbanus, an Irish saint who made a pilgrimage from Ireland and settled there in the Apennine mountain ranges. Mm-hmm. In a lovely valley in the 7th century. And we have a host of local eateries that we take people to that are also highlights in themselves. So the food and wine is a very important component.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And obviously because of that, you've mentioned that you've now got the new tour, the Fine Food, Wine and Wonders, and that I guess has a real focus on the local specialties and the local wines. Very
much so. We've incorporated a region, and this is another highlight of that particular tour, the region of La Valtellina, which is northeast of Lake Como, and it borders with the Swiss border, and it's a unique area in the sense that the wine that's produced there is unique to that area, both with respect to the methods that they use to grow the grapes, the very, very steep terraced vineyards, and also the actual wine that comes out of those particular methods, and also the environments or the microclimates that they're grown in. And La Valtellina has its unique dishes that are very, very specific to that particular area. And then also Piedmont, or Piemonte as the Italians call it, is very, very well known for its food and wine. And obviously we visit the areas that we visit, it's the local wines. For instance, the Barolo area will be obviously investigating the local Barolo wine and the wineries within that particular area, and also in the Monferrato area where we actually, where guests are asleep for the 3 days towards the end of that tour that we spend there.
Okay, that sounds great. So how many people, how many guests do you cater for on the tours?
We have maximum group size of 8 people, so we're very much at the intimate, small group size of our tours. I'm even a little bit hesitant to say that we run tours in a sense, because it's more an itinerary. It's such a personal experience, and a very, very small scale that the word tour doesn't really describe it. It's more just meeting Lynette and myself as hosts and being exposed to wonderful experiences, landscapes, foods and wines.
That's right. Often when people hear the word tour, they think of a 50-seater coach, and obviously that's far from the experience that you're offering to your guests.
Very much so, yes. Yeah. I mean, the word itinerary, and that's a little bit of it's a harsh word, so I don't know what word would be the most appropriate to describe our experiences, but we are Lombardy Delights Tours, so that's the term we use.
Yeah, sure. And people that are thinking about heading to Italy, what are a couple of the reasons why you would encourage them to join you on a Lombardy Delights tour?
Well, the people that generally come on our tours, and perhaps the best way to respond to that question is from the point of view of the guests themselves. And many of the people that come on our tours, some of them are actually first-time visitors to Italy. That are curious enough to actually want to see what Italy is like aside from the major tourist attractions. So they'll organise a tour that might even incorporate other countries in Western Europe, but they have that curiosity to see what the real Italy is like outside of Venice, Rome and Florence, which are beautiful places, and I'd always recommend people to visit those places in themselves. But this is something very different in the sense that, for instance, the 80% of the places that we go to, you will not find an English-speaking tourist in those places. And they are beautiful, and it's sort of these are secret places that the Italians have to themselves. The Italian tourists will go there, particularly my father's hometown, Varzi and Bobbio. You'll get many people from Milan and the major cities visiting there on the weekends, and the months of summer are full of festivals and festivities, and many Italian visitors will arrive in these locations. But as far as English-speaking tourists goes, it's there's a massive void of English-speaking tourists, and these people really find that refreshing, just to get away from the mad tourist crowds. And then we have people that have been to Italy on numerous occasions, and they just, perhaps renting a car is a little bit chaotic and stressful for them at the stage of their lives that they're at, perhaps in their early 50s and older, and they just want to have that intimate, unique experience, but they want to be looked after, and that's essentially what Lynette and I do. We take a lot of pride in knowing that our number one priority is the comfort and enjoyment of our guests.
That's great. All right. Well, thanks so much, Jim and Lynette, for giving us a bit of an insight into Lombardy Delights Tours. And if people have got some more questions that they'd like to ask you, can you give us your phone number so that they can give you a call?
Yep, not a problem at all. We're located in Melbourne, so our phone number is 03-9018-6624. We're also contactable on Skype. So
okay.
Skyper, they can contact us on Lombardy Delights, which is our username.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thanks again, Jim and Lynette, and all the best for your new tour and your other tour again this year.